Good morning, and welcome back to Teacher Gimble's Classroom. Today I want to talk about a skill that is really necessary as a teacher but very difficult to implement, and that is teaching fluency on requisite skills in the classroom while also teaching your classroom at the grade level rigor. In this video, I'm going to talk about a strategy that I use for in-person classrooms. I teach geometry, so I'm using a geometry example, but you could do it for any classroom. Let's get started and jump right in. I've identified a skill that I want students to know. The skill is solving equations. I know that they're going to need this for all of geometry, so I usually start with this one. Other requisite skills I have used this for is negative numbers, order of operations, and also evaluating expressions. I choose that I want to work on equations for about 3 weeks. So the first thing I do is I give my students a pre-assessment. As you can see on this pre-assessment, the questions go from pretty basic, one-step problems to two-step problems, to problems with variables on both sides, to using the distributive category. I give my students all of this pre-assessment, I tell them to do their best, and then I collect it. Once I've had the pre-assessment, I write all of my students' name on a note card. I then put the students at whatever level problem that they are able to do. The one-step students are in the one-step category, the two-step students are in the two-step category, the terms on both sides are there, and the challenge students are up here. As you can see, the students' names are written in different colors. Those are to identify the different periods that I'm teaching, so students have an easier time to find their name. I know this looks like a lot of names, but students are pretty good at looking at a list and finding themselves. Now, the key to this activity is promoting a culture where students are simply trying to grow. Students need to understand that they come into the classroom at the level they're at, and everybody's just working to get to a higher level. Now, the nice thing about this is I do a fluency for maybe 3 or 4 minutes every day as students come in the classroom. First, they do a warm-up, which is a skill that we've learned from the class before, and we hop to the fluency. Based on their level, they get to do the fluency that we've identified. So if they're at a one-step, they're only expected to do the one-step equations. I can read out the answers to the fluency very quickly, so students can self-check at the end of the 3 minutes that they've done these questions. As you can see, I've got questions for each type of fluency, and the students just are working on what they need to work on. Now, the way to push students forward, they will need instruction in order to get to the next level. And you can see on the bottom here, there are some well-loved posters which are aligned to the different levels students are at. So challenge, terms on both sides, one-step equations, some students who didn't put their name on their paper. So once a week, usually, I'll put the students in groups based on their fluency levels. That way, during the fluency, I can go around and I can teach a 1 or 2 minute mini lesson to teach them how to do the next one. They can then have a couple days practice and learn that skill and practice it over the next few days of fluency. So the one-step equations will shift up to the two-step and practice it for a few days. The two steps will turn to the terms on both sides and practice it, and the challenge will move up to the next challenge skill, which will change. I have the distributive property here. I could do squaring, I could do square roots, I could do negative numbers, things that I think my students need. At the end of each week of the unit, I'll usually give them the pre-assessment again. At that point, students are able to do more questions than they were able to do the first time. So at the end of the week, I can grade the pre-assessment, and honestly, sometimes I have the students self-grade it, and any student who've moved up to the next level, their card gets placed to the next level with a sticker on it. I can then provide credit, not based on how you do each day, but simply how many levels have you moved up. If you have 4 stickers, you move from one step to challenge, you've done a great job. Now, what this does is it teaches a skill that students don't have, and it teaches it differentiated at their level with the extra support in small groups in minutes. That way, you can spend the majority of your class on grade level content, teaching them that rigor, and then the next month when I'm teaching them geometry problems that need equations in them, students have already practiced this and are efficient problem solvers in this skill. Setting this up takes a little bit of time, but once you have it set up and you've drawn the activities that you need to do for the students, this is a really easy way to push students to grow, to learn the math facts they need to learn, while also keeping your class on level and keeping it rigorous. By inspiring students to push themselves, it teaches self-autonomy, and it also gives them the positive motivation to keep working and realize that they can be successful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and like and subscribe to my channel for more teaching activities based on math classrooms, online and in person. Hope to see you soon, and have a great day.